We're getting spammed. Ah.
A modern podcast where Chris and Mike talk about TV, movies, superheroes, and everything in between. It's time for Superhero Slate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And check out our initial Jessica Jones reactions.
Oh, that's why you're all here.
Yes, it really is. Marvel TV series are blowing up this week. Justice League Goes Dark.
All right.
And more.
And more.
Yes, more.
So you were telling me that this news came fast and furious this week.
Essentially, with no Fast and Furious news, actually, ironically. By Tuesday, I had probably 90% of the show ready to go.
Oh, man, they were just dumping it at the beginning of the week.
They did, and I think that, honestly, for me, a huge chunk is Jessica Jones, because I spent 13 hours Friday watching the whole show. I was done by midnight. I was pretty stoked.
Oh, my God.
And, there's just so much going on this week. I cannot believe it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
As you've seen the show notes, you peruse them, that there's really everything in there.
Yeah, they're hefty. They're hefty. What do they always say? Like when you're like picking fruit at the grocery store, it needs to feel heavy for its size. Like, what does that even mean? But our show feels heavy for its size.
It's dense.
Yeah,
It's dense.
I wanted to ask you, while we were recording, where did you come up with the creative title for this episode?
I don't know what the title is off the top of my head. Can you refresh my memory?
It's just Before Thanksgiving. That's the title of this episode.
Oh, well, gosh, I must have been on a creative streak.
You're usually bringing up these like esoteric quotes or just this randomness. Yeah. And I was just like, I opened it up and I was like, okay, it's just Before Thanksgiving.
Oh, no,
right.
I know exactly what went in my head, because next week's is going to be after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
It's like a two-parter.
Oh, okay. See if we wake up from the tryptophan.
Yes, Lord knows we will need to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm off energy drinks right now. Like I cut those out, and I'm trying to like go more coffee and stuff like that.
How heavy were you into the energy drink downward spiral?
Pretty bad. With my new job a couple months ago, I had to get up earlier to do the travel, so I was drinking energy drinks in the morning to kind of give me that perk. Because I don't like the taste of coffee.
Oh no, I don't like it either. I usually reach for like a sugar-free energy drink, because it's just like I want the caffeine, but I don't really want the calories. So it's usually like sugar-free Red Bull.
Yes, and that stuff just bitters my mouth. So I was pretty heavy, and most of them are buy two get one free, or buy one get one free or something like that. But needless to say, I'm off, so I'm pumping back up on my own natural high.
Weaning yourself off the dark side. I like that.
It truly is. You're working on our Star Wars thing. Speaking of dark side, I'm excited for this. Are you excited for this? You've read the notes I've left you now.
Yes. If people are unaware, we're doing a collaboration between your research and writing skills and my illustration. So everybody will get a chance to see it in December. But it's kind of like a collaboration, and we'll see how it works out. But yeah, it's been fun so far. I've been doing it a little differently. Like usually when I'm drawing comics, it's very much like panel by panel. But now I'm kind of doing like a unified kind of one piece of art. And I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, because I think our ideas are kind of off the wall this time. It's something different than our last collaboration, which is like almost, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I think it
was before Civil War. It launched on not Civil War, Winter Soldier. And we did a history of Marvel Universe, and that was kind of long and kind of like, I feel like it was fun and informative, but I think this is even more fun.
As the years go on, the attention span of people on the internet gets shorter and shorter, so we must condense all information into single nuggets.
We're not writing a book this time.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But that's awesome. I'm really excited for that. He's teased me some of the things. I'm just hyped for Star Wars, honestly. And we don't have any Star Wars news.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, I know, it's sad.
Well, we typically don't segue in the Riff Raff segment, but I'm gonna segue in the Riff Raff segment if you'll let me.
Yeah, go, please do.
So when you're on your way to your Star Wars showing next month, how do you plan on getting there?
Oh, that's clever. I bought a new car this weekend.
Man.
For the first time since 2009.
You must be flush with that podcast money, huh?
Yes, it really is. All that internet monies. This is a brand new car. I've never owned a brand new car.
So you drove it off the lot with like 0 miles? Well, theoretically, there might have been like 20 on there or something.
There was like 100 because it was transferred from another dealership. But it's a Chevy Equinox, for those who know. And here's my fun part about this. So it's got all the cool things, Bluetooth, heated seats, automatic start. It's got Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
My car has 4G LTE Wi-Fi in the car.
So who do you have to pay to turn that on?
That is through OnStar, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
And I get 8 months free of it, I believe.
Oh.
But I had to go through this setup, and I'm talking to the OnStar person in my car, and they're like, "What do you want your internet network to be?" And I sit there for a minute, and so the guy beside me, the dealer, was like, "Make it Chris's Equinox." I'm like, "Let's call it the Helicarrier." So my internet is Helicarrier. So if you see that Wi-Fi network and it pops up and disappears, I drove by. And
I'd be worried.
My password is a variation of this, not exactly, but it's Hail Hydra.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I my fiance goes with the Star Wars motif in her car, and mine's the Marvel motif.
Okay. Oh, you guys are so meant to be.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but in the good way. So yes, I have a new car, and I love my Helicarrier 4G LTE. It's cheaper to do it on your phone. Like, there's not a time I ever think I'd use it on the car, but I guess it's cool to have if someone has a tablet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, I guess Wi-Fi in a car sounded like way more exciting maybe like 5 years ago, but now I just think about like, oh, I'll just be on my phone.
Yeah.
But I know there are definitely dead spots, definitely throughout the middle of the country where it's hard to come by them internets.
Well, I think if your phone doesn't have service, I don't think my car will have service.
Oh, so yeah, I guess they're
both these cellular networks. So
yeah. Do you get? Is your bandwidth limited through OnStar?
Yeah, it's gigabytes. You pay I have 3 a month right now until it's over, and then I think it's 30. Excuse me. It's essentially $10 a gig, is what the price averages out to.
Oh man.
So I don't think I'm gonna be continuing on with it.
Yeah, that just sounds like something that's kind of cool for a little while. Then you'll probably don't even need it.
Again, maybe if I had kids who had tablets. And not phones, but I don't see it going anywhere. Yeah, but yeah, so thanks for bringing up my new car.
No problem. You always wanna brag when you get some new toy. So I'll let you segue into it.
Thank you. Well, let's talk about another new toy.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Jones.
Oh, Netflix shows are the best toys.
Yes, they are. So this past Friday, Marvel released all 13 episodes of their Jessica Jones TV series. Mm-hmm. I've seen every episode and written it's a spoiler-free review on ComicUI. Mm-hmm. However, you've not seen them all yet, and that's okay. It's a busy time of the year. But I kind of want to talk about our reactions to the show early on.
Yeah, we let everybody know last week's episode that this week is just going to be like standard reactions, how we're feeling about the show, and then we're going to give everybody a normal amount of time. Not everybody finished all 13 episodes in one night like you did. We're going to give people a good 10 days to watch it all, and then they can download the spoiler cast next week. Yeah,
so funny story about this is rated, I think, TV mature. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think it's for violence. There are some sexual scenarios in the show.
Yeah, this show gets pretty sexy.
And I was in the comic book store Friday afternoon, and someone turned on the first episode, and I'm like, I don't think you should be playing that. He's like, nah, it's just violence. I'm like, I've seen it. He's like, no, it'll be cool. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And it gets to the first sex scene, and it doesn't hold back. But he's like, oh, yep, we're turning it off now. Yeah. We're going to Star Wars, Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no really spoilers in talking about this, but the sex scenes are mild as they come. It's just a little shocking knowing that you're watching a Marvel property with a sex scene. Yeah, so yeah. It's just kind of a little jarring at first, but they're relatively tame.
Yeah, and relatively common as well. It's a very mature show. I think I'm not gonna get into stuff like that. So having seen 3 episodes, how do you feel so far?
So the biggest thing I can take away after 3 episodes that I can tell other people is this show is going to look like it is meant to be in the same universe as Daredevil, but it's a totally different feeling show. Like, you know, when you think back to Daredevil, you think about the action. You think about that awesome, like, no-cut fight scene. You think about the brawling, like the violence, the blood, and just the action and, like the really the quirky characters, like his friends, or I guess just Foggy mainly. You know, you think about those things, and you think about his dark past and his dad and everything. And this show, it's a lot more methodical. It moves at a slower pace, but you really get into this one kind of specific track. And it has a lot more. I guess people have been saying the word noir over and over again every time I hear someone post about this show.
It does. I use that in my review.
Sorry, I was knocking back some Diet Coke there. All right.
Drink it. Go for it.
So here we go. So far for the first 3 episodes, I mean, I'm hooked. I feel like Daredevil hooks you a lot sooner, just because, you know, when you're sitting down to watch superhero, you want the action, you want the comic book pages coming off the book right onto your screen, and you get that with Daredevil like right away. With Jessica Jones, it takes you a little bit to kind of understand what kind of story you're in, and once you kind of get settled, like I definitely feel settled after about 2 episodes. So I'm definitely ready to watch the rest. I'm trying to like carve out time throughout the week because there's like, you know, there's like friends and family and like Thanksgiving coming up, and I'm just like, all right, people, eat your turkey and get out. I got to finish Jessica Jones before next week. So I hope I can get to these episodes soon. And so far, I think it's great.
Awesome. I agree with you. It is a slower paced show than Daredevil, but you expect a lot. Like, I mean, I expect it to be Daredevil Part 2, kind of, but with a different character. However, I think they've matured severely from Daredevil to this point. Daredevil was very episodic. Like, every episode felt kind of contained, and where the next one picked up, it could have been several days or weeks later. You don't really know. This Jessica Jones feels like it's just one huge long movie, because we're like, even in the earlier episodes, like, you know, where part 1 or episode 1 ends, 2 picks up almost right away, and there is not an episode that didn't end where I'm just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And that's seen all 13. Like, it's just fantastic. It's set up a lot like Daredevil in the terms that, like, you don't get a taste of the villain right away either. Just kind of like his overarching like vibe, but not himself until later. Something else I applaud the show. This show is full of women characters in everyday situations. They're not relegated to gender roles.
Yeah,
and I applaud it for that, because, you know, it's a very mature show in both the fact of the content and how it transcends what we think when we think about a comic book TV show. I don't think anything else out there is as good as this to me. Currently, it could change, but I think this is one of the best shows by far, and that's from someone who doesn't know or didn't care about Jessica Jones going into this. Okay,
so I guess before we wrap up our initial reactions here, would you say that you're vibing on this more than you vibed on Daredevil?
I do, yes.
Oh, okay, wow.
I think it owes to the fact that this has taken Daredevil's storytelling, like the how great that was, and bumped it up a notch.
Okay.
It feels like one 13-hour movie more so than Daredevil did, and I really like that fact about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing up the series. You know, we've we've had some confirmation in the news segments that we've talked about in the previous weeks with certain characters popping up in the show. I'm excited to see those characters. I don't know when they're coming, so I like not knowing that. I mean, there's more specific things I just want to talk about that were in the first 3 episodes, but I'm going to save it for the spoiler cast, and I'm sure we're going to be sitting in front of this mic for like over an hour talking about this show next week. So
yeah, it's exciting. It's so good.
Yeah. Overall, I guess the only thing we can tell people out there that haven't started watching it yet is, I don't know, maybe don't watch it in front of little kids.
Yeah, don't. This is not a child-friendly show. I don't think it's. I would put it on par. AMC would air this. That's where I would put it on AMC if I had to pick a channel.
Yeah, you think so?
I do. I mean, they wouldn't put it on late night cable or over the air show.
Oh, okay.
This would be a pay per view, like a channel that you have to pay to watch on cable.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yes, so I again head to ComicUI to read my full spoiler review. It's really long. I had a lot of things to say about this that were good, and I point out some of the flaws too. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's not perfect show, but what is?
What show is?
But it definitely is a strong addition.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you so much more. But I mean, I'm just trying to avoid everything. I'm trying to avoid reviews, even your review, and even throughout the week when I'm talking to you, I don't want I want to know what you thought about the show, but I don't want to know what you thought about the show. So
yeah, we'll save it all. We'll bottle up and go for next week. So I hope you guys come back for that and get a chance to watch it over the week.
Yeah, most definitely, you'll see the spoiler cast pop up in your feed just like the normal show if you're subscribed. Yes.
So I want to add one more thing about Jessica Jones. Mm-hmm. It was originally going to be on ABC in 2010.
Oh wow, 2010. What phase or what movies were coming out in 2010?
I mean, 2010. The Hulk and Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 had just come out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So they were hitting the ground running at that point in time.
Yeah. So at that point in time, they were talking about the Hulk TV show, a Mockingbird TV show, who, as we know, went on to be in S.H.I.E.L.D., and a Cloak and Dagger television show.
Oh, wow.
They were producing all 4, but they dropped them all to kind of head towards the Avengers.
Man, I mean, I know there have been Hulk TV shows, but with the way they're rendering him now in the movies, I don't understand how that would have looked good at all.
Well, I think they wanted to go with the old. I remember hearing that one more than anything. The old Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk approach, where it's mostly Bruce Banner on the run. But who knows what they were talking about behind the scenes back then.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad I feel like it would have been too soon. I feel like in 2010, a Mockingbird TV show, I just would have been like, I'd be like, where's the Black Widow TV show? Like, this is the very beginning of the Marvel universe. Don't give me like this lower tier Mockingbird character TV show. I don't care.
Yeah, they definitely did the right thing by nixing them and bringing at least several characters back.
Yeah, but Cloak and Dagger, I have not read much Cloak and Dagger, but I'd love to see them pop up on Netflix at some point in time.
It'd be definitely interesting. Mm-hmm. Netflix show Luke Cage, big part of Jessica Jones.
Yes.
Probably, I would say if you've listened to our old podcast, you were about right on the screen time.
Okay.
It's great. Luke Cage is a great addition. He needed to be in the show. Mm-hmm. But he's got he's filming his own show right now, and his newest image shows him in what appears to be a suit.
Man, he is a handsome looking man. Yeah. I have a feeling there is a goatee wrangler on set that just attacks his goatee every 20 minutes because it looks like it's tattooed on his face. It's so perfect.
And he's a big guy. That suit's barely holding on to this bulky guy.
Yeah, that button's about to fling off and decapitate somebody.
Yeah, so but to see Luke Cage in a suit's interesting. I kind of want to know where they're going with on this.
Yeah, exactly. All I imagine is he's trying to I don't know, be something that he's not. I'll be curious to see. I have so many questions when it comes to Luke Cage, and I feel like I'll get more answers as I move past episode 3 of Jessica Jones. But so far, his character is. I love every time he pops up on screen.
Yeah, he's very, very charismatic, I guess, if you will. And you do get some of his history in there, so I think Jessica Jones, if you want to know more Luke Cage, Jessica Jones is a watch. Mm-hmm. But we're going to keep going on. We got some more Netflix news with Daredevil Season 2.
Yeah, I guess this news is it's light spoilery, not really. All it really does is tell you kind of what Luke Cage does for a living.
So it does, but it's a video, and it essentially shows Josie's bar, or Luke Cage's, I think it said Luke's, and then it transitions to Josie's. Well, Josie's, as we know, is in Daredevil, and this was posted on Daredevil's Twitter. So I think this is an indication that Luke Cage's bar will show up in Daredevil, or he will be, some part of Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool. Like, I mean, all I want to do is now that we're starting to get the majority of the Defenders, we have seen the majority of them by now. I just can't wait till they all get together. It's going to be so much fun. So I love that idea, and it makes sense. This is the awesome universe we live in now, where everything's shared and people can cross over and they can talk to each other. It's great. I think it's super cool.
Yeah. I mean, Hell's Kitchen, it can't be that big, right? It's more of a suburb than a state or a country.
yeah. That's kind of like the biggest backlash that this Defender series keeps getting is like, people that are familiar with New York keep saying, like, Hell's Kitchen is not that big. Not all of this can be happening in Hell's Kitchen. And I think you just kind of gotta get over it. It's like a fictionalized Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, honestly, they did not mention that phrase once in Jessica Jones.
I think did they?
I feel like it was just New York.
Oh, I don't know. Either way.
Either way. And like, again, one of my friends who lived there, he's like, it's full of, rich white kids now. Like, it's not that bad either. Like, it's not a horrible place to be. So,
well, I want to live in a world where Hell's Kitchen is an awful place to be, and there's superheroes there protecting it.
That's right, including the last Defender, Iron Fist.
Yeah, I'm curious what news you got here, because he's been a little wishy-washy the past couple of weeks. We haven't had any sort of concrete, I guess, squashing of the rumors.
So, the chief creative officer of Marvel, Joe Quesada, and the Marvel president of television, Jeph Loeb, who I hate with a passion for reasons not outside of TV, confirmed that they are working on the Iron Fist TV series, and it's not a movie, and nothing's ever changed.
All right, that's awesome. I'm glad that we finally got some confirmation, because people were getting a little worried there. But,
no news, people start making up news. I mean, I think that's what it is. You want to hear news. Like right now, I'm panicked that Civil War is not on this list of news.
Oh, yeah.
Where is Captain America Civil War, and why have we not heard or seen anything of it in the past several weeks?
Yeah, maybe they're just kind of giving some breathing room to Jessica Jones. And I've noticed recently, just in like the last year and a half, the breathing room for news is shrinking, because like we've noticed every single week, the news is constant and it doesn't stop, and it's a train with no brakes. So they're giving small windows for things to shine for a moment, and I think Jessica Jones's window is probably going to be up here in a couple days. Right. I think we're going to be getting stuff. If we don't get anything next week when it comes to Civil War, I would put money on it that we get it the week after Thanksgiving. That first kind of full week after the holiday, we're going to be getting something big from Civil War, and that would be my best educated guess.
Okay, I feel any time between now and Star Wars, still it could just drop and we would never realize it. So yeah, I mean, Iron Fist is one of those things. I'm excited they're working on it, and that these guys both confirmed it separately, and they were not at the same place. So that's awesome.
Yes, that's awesome.
Lastly, that leads into the Defenders. I got news on that. That has to shoot by a certain date. They cannot keep pushing back the Defenders.
So, I mean, are we getting news that they are pushing it back intentionally, or?
No. Essentially, under the Marvel-Netflix collaboration, they will shoot these other shows, but they still have to produce the Defenders and all these other, however many shows they want to, by a certain date. The Defenders has to air, and I think this is in collaboration with the Marvel Universe as a whole as well. And this was the Jessica Jones producer was talking about when someone asked him about a season 2, which I honestly think it needs, that can they do a season 2 and how does that affect the Defenders? And they're like, well, the Defenders has to film on by a certain period. Like we have to release it on a date that was undisclosed. So does that mean Jessica Jones will get a season 2 before then or after then? We don't know, but again, it gives more solidification to Defenders. They can't just keep pushing it back to give more seasons for these other characters.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not complaining that we're getting a season 2 of Daredevil so quickly. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, just make sure we get the Defenders on time. I want to see some corporate synergy with the Defenders and Avengers on screen at some point in time. Oh, man, I want to see that Daredevil costume on the big screen so bad. Ugh.
Do you think it'll evolve by the time it gets to the theater?
It would be interesting. It'd be kind of cool if I feel like Tony Stark is going to need time to sit down. He's like, okay, who needs a new suit now? Okay, Daredevil, Spider-Man. Okay, Hulk, you want some armor before you head off to Asgard? Oh, wait, you came back with armor already? Okay, you're fine. Okay, who needs armor? I only have so many hands.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so that's cool. I think that definitive Defenders Day is great news for everybody. And I think it'll kind of squash some rumors for that. Another Marvel TV series, Agent Carter Season 2, has officially begun filming, or it's already been filming, to give us our first official image, I apologize, and our first trailer.
Yeah, I caught the trailer earlier this week, and I don't know, it's kind of weird, like, because, we're getting, like, these dark, thrilling, action-packed trailers from, like, Jessica Jones and S.H.I.E.L.D. and, even over at the CW, and Agent Carter seemed pretty light-hearted, like, kind of reminded me, like, a little bit of, like, Supergirl promotional stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, the trailer shows that she's gone to L.A., but some of the same people are still there. And it is fun. It looks she's having fun out there. She's kicking ass and not being apologetic for it, and it is a contrast to what else has been out lately. But I think that's a great return to form for Marvel to have another show that's contrasting whatever else is on.
Yeah, but also from experience, I guess we just can't judge TV trailers as well because we all know how atrocious that first Supergirl TV trailer was. So I'm definitely giving it some pass because, they're making these trailers specifically for people watching television and coming across them and things like that. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I do too. And the best part is it comes out January 5th as a 2-hour premiere.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely sneaking up. I mean, the year is close to over. November's nearly out the door. Then
December, there are no shows this week because of the holiday.
Yeah,
so even then, like they're closing down.
Yeah, I mean December always flies by anyway because there's so much going on, especially with movies and holidays and breaks. So yeah, once we get back into 2016, and man, 2016 is going to be a gigantic year. I'm glad we get to start it with Agent Carter.
Yes, Agent Carter, which is then followed by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Man, would you believe that I now am excited to watch this show on Tuesdays?
Are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm caught up. Like I'm excited. I'm getting enthralled. I love these storylines. I mean, I loved that episode that they did entirely with what is it?
Gemma
Simmons. Simmons. I love that whole Simmons episode. I thought it was great. It was something that S.H.I.E.L.D. has never done. So I thought that was really, really cool, and it really made me connect to her experience. So this season's been great.
This season has not slowed down, and that's a testament to how great it is. This last week's episode, if you've caught up, the one last week, I was like, okay, great, episode's about over. I look at my watch, it's 9:30. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a half hour left. How can they do this? And I mean, they're tying in the World Security Council even in from Avengers 1 into the season. And, space travel and all this other crazy stuff. Excuse me. But the second half of the season returns March 8th, right after Agent Carter gets done, essentially.
So do we know when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when do they wrap up for their mid-season?
I believe they have 2 more weeks left.
Okay, gotcha.
I think we've seen 7 episodes. I can't promise you, maybe 8 right now. We've seen 8, so we have 2 more, and they are December 1st and December 8th.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
So then then we got the holidays, and by the time those wrap up, we're back on Agent Carter.
Oh yeah.
I really like Marvel's release schedule for shows. It's very, very tight, and it does not leave you confused to when to tune in next.
Not only do we have a short attention spans, but we want stuff regularly every single week.
Pretty much so. Yeah. So that wraps up Marvel's TV news. As you can tell, huge week for Marvel TV stuff.
That's like half of our show, just this TV news.
Yeah, and it's great. I'm loving it. It's great. So let's get into the last bit of Marvel news with Ant-Man. The PSA, the digital release, was out last week.
Yes.
Just kind of letting people know that. I know that's really nothing huge. But if you guys like to buy your movies digitally, you can get it early and not have to wait until it comes out December 8th or whatever on Blu-ray DVD.
Their social media marketing team really lucked out with that ant emoji. I've been seeing that a lot everywhere.
Oh, yeah, totally. They got those sons of bitches. They got it down. So there's that. Cool. You like X-Men?
I have been known to enjoy X-Men films.
There is another X-Men film on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Summer of 2018 release. And
Ooh.
They're filming it in 2017.
So this is like the next like X-Men film after Apocalypse, not like a side movie or anything.
Correct. There's an Untitled. There's nothing official from the studio. This is essentially from like Toronto, saying they're coming back to film there in 2017 for a summer 2018 release with Bryan Singer to return.
Do you think they're gonna? Because it seems to be a pattern, at least right now, with Bryan Singer returning, that he's been focusing on specific plots that have been happening in the X-Men universe, and they're not really necessarily making up. I guess not really making up, but they're not really going off of any comic book stories like they did at the beginning. So it makes me wonder that maybe the next X-Men film might be around a big event.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Apocalypse is huge. I think Apocalypse is their event. I think the next one will probably focus, I think it'll move timelines into the 90s and focus on the new people they just hired. Jean Grey, Cyclops, Young Storm, Nightcrawler, etc. And I think it'll focus on that. Doing what? I don't know, but I'm excited that they have a 2-year release cycle for these now. Something to look forward to, since X-Men's only getting better in quality, I feel. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but that's
it's getting better. I mean, Days of Future Past let us know that Bryan Singer knows what he's doing, so hopefully he can hit that second pitch coming up here next summer.
Yeah, I think he'll become a one-note director. He'll be doing X-Men for a while.
Yeah, as long as that note's good.
Yeah, which kind of leads us to our next bit, X-Men TV series. We talked about those a while ago.
Yeah, this is only like the second time we've actually talked about it when it's had like an official title.
Yes, so the two shows, Hellfire and Legion, are to film next year for their pilots, and they're to get 10 to 13 episodes. Legion is, at least, if picked up. Hellfire will probably get a full season.
Oh, so do you think these are going to probably drop 2017?
Probably, unless they do them, filming them in January, get picked up early, and then maybe drop fall.
Yeah, I guess that's possible.
Or maybe next, spring, like the second half of the normal season, like Lucifer is doing. I don't know, but I mean, they're moving ahead on them. Like they're not slowing down. They're not just talking. They're actually walking.
We're getting finally, hopefully, a decent X-Men live-action series.
Oh, at least we got two, so we have a 50-50 chance maybe that one of them will be
yeah, that's true.
Be good. I think Hellfire, again, will be the bigger show, the full season, and Legion will be like our Jessica Jones, so to speak. Oh, well. Another favorite mutant is Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool, man.
He's got a theater standee that's cracking my shit up.
Cracking your shiz.
So there's a standee where it's in the theaters, right? And you can go and sit on Deadpool's lap and get your picture with him in his costume, sitting on a chair with the Santa hat on and stuff.
I love it. I love this marketing. It's so much fun.
Yeah, they are having a good time with it, and that's great. I mean, you got to have a good time, and it's not really offensive either. I think that's the bold line, like the bold thing to do with Daredevil is like to make him funny to the public, but not offensive until you get him in the movie.
Yeah, you just got to keep him fun, and then he can start swearing once you buy the ticket.
That's right, and cut him up and get that R-rated rating, R-rated rating, whatever.
R-rated goodness.
Anyway, if you see this theater standee with Deadpool, get your picture with it, send it to us.
Yeah,
I will. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Another mutant film for 2016 is Gambit.
Oh gosh, Gambit.
It's not dead yet.
What is going on with Gambit?
Okay.
Do you have anything that's going to excite me?
Yes.
Okay.
So the producer for the film called it a sexy heist thriller. That's not the exciting part.
Oh man.
Okay. A director is hired but not confirmed. He cannot give us a name.
So that doesn't really make things better for me yet.
They're filming in the spring of 2016.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And they're confident they can push the release to 2017 to get a good movie.
All right. Okay. I mean,
if they push the date, I think they can do it right.
This is still not the news. Like, I want to see, like, this is our director. These are our writers. These are the people that are going to be in it.
Well, they have the writers and they have the cast.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But I mean, like, man, I don't know. Like, there's nothing to be excited about yet.
The only thing that excites me is if they push it.
Yeah, I mean, like, give us some, like, concept art or something.
Well, yeah, I guess they need to have that first. Maybe they don't have that yet.
Yeah, I guess.
We haven't hired the concept artists. They're gonna be on set drawing things up as we film them. So they're gonna hold up their art, and that's gonna be the backgrounds.
Yeah.
But no, I think the best news is they're not. If they don't rush it, if they don't try to do an Ant-Man, they can make a good Gambit movie. Mm-hmm. And once they announce the director, I'm pretty sure Doug Liman will be good to go.
Yeah.
But Gambit, again, low on our radar, low on our expectation list. Fantastic Four of 2016.
Oh God, I don't know.
Oh man, that's a low bar. It's a low bar. Let's talk about something else we've not heard a lot of.
Okay, what are we doing here?
Justice League Dark.
Oh, so we're shifting DC. Okay, let's talk.
Yes.
Let's talk Justice League Dark.
Okay, so this was a film supposedly done by Guillermo del Toro, who says he's going to do a lot of things but never really does.
Yeah.
But they're kind of moving on. Like, they're moving on with this movie they've not announced on their DC slate yet. Mm-hmm. But the characters in the film and the actors who they want to play them have come to the forelight.
Okay, so this is kind of like a wish list.
Yes, this is the studio's wish list. They have the script and they want to do it, and this is who they want to do it. Okay. So first off, the first character is Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Bold move, very bold move, but they want Ron Perlman to play it.
All right. I mean, Guillermo likes Ron Perlman, so I could see that meshing pretty well. If Guillermo is ever officially attached to this.
If he ever comes back to it, yeah.
Yeah, but I love me some Ron Perlman. But I'm guessing with Swamp Thing, we might just be getting more voice acting than anything else.
I don't know if he talks. That's the thing about Swamp Thing. But I imagine if it is, it'd probably be prosthetics like Hellboy. Mm-hmm. But he apparently is a main character, and we'll come back to that. Constantine coming to the theaters again.
All right.
With Colin Farrell playing John Constantine.
I think they can make that work.
I think they'd have to make it different than the one that's currently on TV. Mm-hmm. And
well, he's not even really currently on TV necessarily.
He's in Arrow. I'll give him that. He'll be back in Arrow. And way different than Keanu Reeves, like brooding one. And that's fine. Madame Xanadu. Mm-hmm. Don't know who that is, but played by Monica Bellucci, who was recently Inspector.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't know who she is.
Did you see the second Matrix?
Man, I don't know if I could remember anything from that movie.
Well, she's yes, she's an actress.
We can move along.
Yeah, we'll move along. Another character, Jason Blood. Played by Ewan McGregor.
Oh, Ewan McGregor. I'd like to see him back on screen.
I would like to see him in a comic book movie. I was hoping Marvel, but I will take Justice League Dark.
Okay.
And two other characters will be added: Deadman and Zatanna.
Ooh, Zatanna. Everybody likes her.
Yes. I believe, didn't your wife dress up as her once?
Yeah, she cosplayed Comic-Con as Zatanna.
Yep, there we go.
Fun character.
So there's no actors tied to those, but they will be there. And I think Zatanna will be they said racially different character.
Okay.
They're not going to cast her white, I think is what it went. They want to be ethnically cast. Lastly, Ben Mendelsohn. I don't know who this person is. Apparently he was in some movies, I guess. As Anton Arcane, the villain of the film, who is Swamp Thing's nemesis.
Man, so just Swamp Thing being a main character, all this craziness. I mean, it kind of sounds like they're like, hey, we're making a Suicide Squad movie. Let's just do Justice League Dark. We can make this work.
I think they'll change the title simply because they don't want to confuse people with Justice League and Justice League Dark to something else. But it feels like a Suicide Squad movie with more mysticism than what the other one has. But I would watch this. I think it's so different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. It sounds fun. I mean, honestly, as long as Ron Perlman's in it, I mean, I love Ron Perlman. So, I mean, if they want to throw some seaweed on him and put him on screen, I'll pay, the $10 to go see that movie.
You think it'll be $10 by then?
I don't know.
You're lowballing the theater there.
Yeah,
but Justice League Dark. If it does, I'd like to see, what's his name, Guillermo del Toro come back to it, and actually do it rather than just talk about it. I'd rather him do this than Pacific Rim 2. I apologize for you.
Oh wow, okay. I just want to see him doing things. I just want to constantly see Guillermo del Toro doing work. So as long as he got some project rolling,
I think his practicality effects would bring a lot to that movie. Especially with Swamp Thing going on there. So let's talk about something else DC related. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's filming right now. We know this. We saw a picture
right
of
now,
Steve Trevor.
This very second.
The first image of the official image released by DC, however, shows Gal Gadot.
Okay, yeah. I think that's what it is.
Whatever. Wonder Woman, the chick who plays Wonder Woman, as a hooded Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she looks like she could fit right into The Force Awakens.
Yes, she does. She's got that Jedi look. Maybe Game of Thrones. So this is an official still from the movie, and they've also given the full list of cast and crew announced, confirming Chris Pine is a Steve Trevor.
Okay.
Didn't say the era he's from, but they did say that he was part of it.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Chris Trevor, Chris Pine, I think that'll work well.
Steve Trevor,
whatever. Chris Pine, I like the guy, so I'm looking forward to it.
We're all confused about this movie.
Yeah. Even
the people making the movie are confused. But yeah, no, it's cool. Wonder Woman, great. I'm glad they're doing it. We'll see that when it lands. Another DC property is Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
The first crossover teaser appeared showing The Flash and Arrow teaming up for Legends of Yesterday, I think is the first episode. And there's nothing going on in it, but I know the series premieres January 21st.
Yeah, we're getting close to this one too, so we'll get a couple weeks of Agent Carter, and then we can jump onto this new kind of little mini-series that CW is kind of pioneering, so this will be kind of fun.
Yes, so I'm still enjoying The Flash. I think this week Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. overtook it as my favorite show, but I think The Flash is, like, having those characters in there is going to be fun. I want to see how it ties into The Flash as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of this whole CW universe, The Flash has been... I feel like they've either gotten more money in their budget or they've just found a really, really great way to render these giant animal creatures. But, man, they've been looking really, really great on screen, and I've been digging it. I mean, Arrow's been bringing a little too much cheese for me these past couple episodes. I'm kind of hoping it gets more into action and a little less goofiness, but we'll see if that comes across.
Yeah, Arrow, I still haven't caught up. I've still watched season 3 at all, and I don't feel bad for it because we've got so much other good things going on. So I'm ready to see this. Legend of Tomorrow, I'm so excited for, honestly. CW is doing great, and I think if Arrow was good, The Flash is great, this should be better. So, great. You ready for it? You ready? I'm ready.
Yeah, man. I'm ready for everything. Give it to me all now.
Oh my gosh.
I'll quit my job, and I'll just binge it in a month.
That's a month. It'd take you a month if you didn't have a job. That's sad. Let's talk about your favorite movie. No, not TMNT 2. Alien, Covenant, or Prometheus 2.
Do we get a detailed timeline so I'm not so confused?
Getting closer. So it's officially called Alien Covenant. The press release from the studio says that. And here's a synopsis. I'm just going to read this off. This is not going to go in the show notes. I'm just going to read it off. Ridley Scott returns to the universe he created in Alien with Alien Covenant, the second chapter in a prequel trilogy that began with Prometheus.
All right, so that's already confusing as hell. The second chapter in a prequel trilogy. What does that even mean?
That means this is movie 2 of 3 that will tie in Alien, like we talked about last time.
It's a little. I'm sure there was many people just trying to craft that sentence to be as unconfusing as possible, and that's the best they could get.
Well, this connects directly to Scott's 1979 seminal work of science fiction. Who uses seminal? Bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, the crew of the colony ship Covenant discovers what they think is an uncharted paradise lost, of course, but is actually a dark, dangerous world whose sole inhabitant is a synthetic David, confirming Michael Fassbender, survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition.
Oh, okay. So I guess we are getting our titles now from spacecraft names.
Yes. Well, I mean, wasn't the spacecraft in Aliens called Aliens?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. I'm kidding. But yeah, so it's now we know why it's called Covenant, where Paradise Lost could have come from. But I'm glad to see Michael Fassbender come back. He is one of the sole joys of Prometheus.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what they're gonna do with the other survivor of Prometheus.
Right. That's why I said there's no Numi Rapace listed in this thing, if that's even her name. I don't know how to pronounce that. I
think it's Naomi Rapace, possibly.
Well, there's no Naomi. It's Numi.
Oh. Either way, I think it's Rapace.
Well, either way. So she is not there. And we don't know what's up with that. However, we have a release date.
Okay.
October 6th, 2017.
All right. I guess maybe they're going to time this with a little bit of Halloweeniness. Usually we try to get those scary movies in October.
So you think it'll go with a horror?
I think that would be cool. I mean, like we've said before on the show, we're not the biggest fans of horror. We don't like to subject ourselves to the scariness. But if you can mix the horror with science fiction, usually it's palatable for me.
Yeah, I think Alien needs to get back to that jumpy roots. Because it's Alien, right? They are scary. That's what they're known for. And I would like to see, again, Michael Fassbender, that confirmation. I was sold. I'm going to go watch this. He's great. Yeah. It's just, he was a great David, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
So, another movie returning, again, back to its roots is Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick is such a strange franchise because after all the crazy underground science fiction props this show has been given just from its franchise, I've still only ever seen the very first movie. What was it called? Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
That's what it was.
Pitch Perfect Black.
Yeah, so I saw that, and it was it was a cool movie and all, but I haven't really been attached to this franchise.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was taking my drink there. So, I don't love Riddick, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
So, Pitch Black is a scary sci-fi movie. Chronicles of Riddick is more of a space, not scary. It's a space action adventure. And then the last one, I think it was just called Riddick in 2013, kind of was more of a Pitch Black again. And it was kind of cool. So I'm glad they're going back to Riddick 4. Vin Diesel's got several franchises under his belt, and I think Riddick is probably one of his stronger ones.
Yeah, I think he's pretty attached to this franchise, and I'm pretty sure he's the one that makes sure these movies get made. I'm pretty sure he just whips out his wallet and we're making another Riddick. And
he just says, "I am Groot," and then there's more money in his bank account every time he says it. But they've also confirmed they're doing a TV series based on the bounty hunters set in that universe.
Yeah, I imagine it. I think it's coming to one of these new generation platforms like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or something. I don't know if there's been a confirmation on it yet.
Well, yeah, I just think that's great that they're kind of stepping forward with Riddick and expanding it rather than just saying well, we're going to do a movie whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, I think this is what's called doubling down. They're doubling down on Riddick. We're giving them a movie and TV show, and we're just going to have to see if people want to watch it.
See, I don't think he'll be in the TV show. I think it's more of we're going to follow the other people in the universe.
Yeah, I guess a TV show without Riddick is just more hey, we want to make a dark science fiction TV series, but we're just going to attach it to a name that people kind of know. Yeah,
I think that might be. He might show up once or twice, or just be oh my god, we got to go get Riddick. Ermagerd. But yeah, I think that's great. It's the movie is kind of being run by the same guy who did the first three. So I think that adds a lot to it. Kind of carrying across the same person, the same talent, the same eye, the same vision. But it gives me more hope than our next topic, Transformers 5.
Oh, okay. I'm so excited.
So there was a logo prototype leaked, and it's a half Autobot face and then a 5 in Transformers font in the other half. It's kind of stupid.
I don't...
Yep. Yeah, lay it on me. Come on, lay it on me.
I don't know what to say. Cut the movie, make it an hour an hour less. What am I trying to say? I can't.
You want a 90-minute Transformers?
I can't form normal thoughts when I'm thinking about this franchise. Give me like an hour and 45 minutes of Transformers. Cut out the fluff. Just give me some action and robots fighting. Just try to channel the inner Pacific Rim. Just give me what I want to see.
Yeah, and you're totally not wrong there. That'd be great. And I think they confirmed like some of the writers for this next movie, and it's the people who did Iron Man 1, people who worked on Iron Man 1. So I don't. That doesn't mean anything. Having Iron Man 1 under your belt doesn't mean you get to do the best things in the world. But they're moving forward with it. It's something that's going to happen, and maybe Michael Bay won't be on it. I don't know. We'll see. He hasn't really done much else.
Yeah.
He's sailing on that Transformers money.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds like we got a couple little things at the end of our show here that probably won't excite too many people.
Yeah, it's true. Like Huntsman, the Winter's War. Did you ever see Snow White and the Huntsman?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so this is a sequel to that. Apparently,
yeah.
People were claiming for a sequel.
Well, I heard the Huntsman was like maybe the best part of that movie, so I could kind of see maybe why they'd give him his own movie.
Yes, and the Huntsman is played by Thor. I mean, Chris Hemsworth. Which is awesome because the first character poster's up and it's just like looking like, oh, it's another Thor movie.
He's getting that Disney money.
He is. He's all over the place. And this is actually Universal, not Disney, believe it or not.
Oh, well, I thought, yeah, I guess Disney doesn't own the rights to
Snow White.
It's
public domain.
Either way, he's rich.
He is, and he's built for these kind of roles. He looks like he's taken out of like old Viking times. And the other characters in this, I think, the Jessica Chastain is one of the people who were in it. But the Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, the Dragon Queen, she's in it as well.
Well, I'll tell you how excited I am for Transformers 5 and the Huntsman by comparing it to another trailer that I saw. And this other trailer that I saw, I am more excited for than these two movies. And that is the sequel to My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Oh. That's how much I don't want to see these. But surprisingly, go watch that trailer. It's actually kind of funny. Like, you go into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be garbage. But you actually laugh a couple times. You're just like, these Greek people, they're pretty funny.
Okay, see, that's not what I thought you were going to talk about the Zoolander 2 trailer.
Oh, that was surprisingly funny too.
Honestly, it looks like a different story where they're not rehashing the same jokes. Benedict Cumberbatch was.
Oh my god!
Seeing him in that kind of role was fantastic, and it just looks funny. Like that looks funny.
I'm just hoping they can like step out from these very, very mediocre comedy revival sequels, as I'm kind of calling them, like Anchorman sequel. Awful. I didn't bother to see any of these Dumb and Dumber sequels. I know they're precious to you, but
Dumb and Dumber only had one sequel, but so yes. I'm not going to count those wannabe prequels that they kind of try to cash in on in the early 2000s, like The Mask, Son of the Mask, and all those other ones. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't like a Cable Guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's way off topic, but Zoolander 2 does look funny.
Yeah, and it's being directed by Ben Stiller, and I've liked the directing roles he's been in so far. So
he did do The Cable Guy.
He also did Walter Mitty. That was a good movie too.
Yeah. So I mean, those are kind of just iffy news. Here's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you ever see Memento by Christopher Nolan?
I've never seen it. No. So does that ruin that you wanted to talk to me about it?
Well, it's a movie recently, I think in like the past like 15 years. Ambi Pictures bought the rights to it, and they want to remake it.
Okay.
You should probably see this before we talk about it, so I apologize. This is a horrible note on our thing. I guess maybe for our listeners who have seen Memento, it's Christopher Nolan. This is what put him on the map. So if you want to know why he got the Batman gig, this is one of the reasons why.
Okay. So I was going to say, how are we segueing Memento into a superhero podcast? But you made the connection. You did the degrees of separation. You went Nolan, then you went Batman. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward there. But this is a movie I don't like. If they do a remake, this is like, I don't know. Did you see Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, that I cannot imagine that movie ever getting remade.
So yeah, it's like trying to buy that and remake it. Like, why even do it? Like,
that's weird.
It beats the point. It had to be of the time and of the actors, and just I don't know. That's for another. We'll talk another day on that. And to hell with that. Tomb Raider.
Ooh, video game.
Video game, right? big video game. They're still coming out with them. A director, his name is Roar Uthog.
Okay. Is he a Viking?
I think he's a caveman, actually. And he is to reboot the film, a new Tomb Raider movie franchise.
Oh, man. So, I mean, I think a lot of people forget about the Tomb Raider franchise when we bring up video game movies. And I think it's because the series was so evenly mediocre. It didn't bomb, so people don't put it on, like, the list of worst video game movies of all time. And it didn't excel, so people don't say, oh, I wish we could get something back to Tomb Raider. It just kind of flew under the radar. People just kind of forgot about it.
Tomb Raider and The Matrix was actually my first 2 DVDs I've ever owned. I got them both at the same time.
Exciting.
So it holds a special place in my... No, it doesn't. I don't care. Angelina Jolie kind of carried those movies. But I mean, that was back when Tomb Raider was big on PlayStation. And now it's making a comeback on Xbox. I guess they're claiming for it. I guess maybe if Assassin's Creed does well, we could possibly get a good Tomb Raider?
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool. Obviously, since it's just very fresh news, they haven't announced any casting, but there's a Hollywood actress that is voicing Tomb Raider in the new games, and it would be kind of cool if they could bring her in to play Lara Croft. You could kind of get that really cool synergy of the brand new games and the movie. That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think maybe some cross promotion even, like making the movie part of the canon, kind of like Assassin's Creed is. Because there's no real I mean, they're rebooting Tomb Raider as it is. These are more like origin stories for it now. So it could definitely pull that off.
Yeah. I mean, we got a 50-50 shot between Warcraft and Assassin's Creed. I think one of those movies are going to do well, and we just need one of them to do well to keep this video game movie stuff going.
Yeah. Speaking of video games, I got Star Wars Battlefront this week.
Oh, Star Wars! I was able to get it in there, man.
Wow.
That feels good. That feels good.
That's clutch. That was clutch. That's the last topic on our notes here. I bought Battlefront. I played it for some time on midnight when it came out on Tuesday, and then some on Tuesday and some last night, and it's okay. I'm going to be honest. It's not I'm not clamoring for it. Like, I bought other games. I kind of want to play more than I want to play Battlefront right now.
Well, I've heard that the main criticism that I've been seeing online with this game is it feels so underdeveloped when it comes to everything that they could have attached to. That says, like, you have all this rich lore of the original Star Wars movies, and you're only using a small fraction of it to make this game. And the first thing I think of is just like, oh, they're going to put it into DLC. Of course they held it back. They're going to make you pay for it.
Well, the thing is, the DLC, at least the first announced DLC, is actually from The Force Awakens.
Oh, wow.
So it's the Battle of Jakku, the planet that, the sand planet in the upcoming movie. So the thing is, this game is pure fan service. Like, there is no shortage of characters, guns, weapons. I mean, there's several locales, and like the voices are awesome. It's a great game by all means, but it doesn't have that hook.
Yeah, does it not really feel balanced when you jump into it? Or you're not just like having fun, or?
Yeah, I'd say balance is a part because you have to get points and unlock different weapons to use. But I mean, this game sorely needs a campaign. And I know this is more of like it's built by the guys who did Battlefield. So it's unlike, but it needs a Star Wars campaign to really draw you in and feel and care about it. Excuse me.
Man, you were like suffering through that last sentence.
I was, but it's just Star Wars. I mean, it's great. Battlefront is awesome. The sounds in the game, everything, how beautiful it looks is awesome. But I can tell you definitely know why the Rebels won on Endor. After playing this, because you can't see those fuckers anywhere in that forest. Like, you're a white stormtrooper, they see you, but you cannot see them in their camouflage.
Oh, man.
But Star Wars Battlefront, I would, if you like Star Wars, get it. But I mean, other games will probably be better for you, like Halo and Fallout.
Gotcha. All right.
Maybe a Black Friday Bundaroo deal.
Yeah, I hear that the consoles are pretty cheap on Friday.
Yes. Where do you hear those from?
I've heard it from some pretty credible sources, aka a text message from you.
I do follow those deals. That is about all the news I have here today.
Man, that was robust.
It was, and we still got in an hour.
Yeah, as we said, heavy for its size.
Yeah, really it is. And I mean, we barely had a break to talk and joke about things and go off on tangents.
Yeah, well, I think if you're going to be doing any more tangents this week and people wanted to get them outside of the show, where could they get them from you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Valdan, VALDAN. And you can also go to ComicUI, which our new design is up.
Yeah, cool, man.
You saw it. I really like it. We're still testing some things. We don't have a server load. We never had people on it, so that's kind of what we're going through. But we have a new review system, which I'm really proud to use on our Jessica Jones review. Really excited, really stoked. ComicUI at Valdan. You find me there. What about you, Mike? Where can we get your awesomeness?
Oh, well, you can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. That's going to be a really good place, just like ComicUI, to find our collaboration in December.
Yes, if you want to go read that history of Star Wars, go to both of our websites, Pickle Comics and ComicUI, and follow and read them up on them.
Yeah, but as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is where we have the links to every place the show is. We're on iTunes. We have awesome videos up on YouTube, SoundCloud, Tumblr. You can subscribe via email and get it right in your inbox. And also a great place to follow us is on Facebook and Twitter. And apparently soon it's gonna be on Google Plus. I don't know what that's gonna be called, the Google Play Store. We're gonna get Google-fied at some point in time.
Yes, so I think it's on the Google Play Music app is where they're gonna go. They're not live yet. But we are approved already, and I'm really excited to say that we're one of the first ones on there.
Google probably has us trademarked already, but Google-fied, I like that.
Google-fied.
Our show's going to get Google-fied sooner or later. But, so, if you're a fan of the show, please head over to iTunes and leave us a review.
Or on YouTube, we have, I like to give a shout to Sean Shells this week. He said, you guys are doing well. Great show. Thank you, Sean Shells. We appreciate you.
We will keep up the good work just for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We really like it.
But if you're a fan like Sean, you can head over to iTunes and leave us a review. That really helps us. And if you're a super fan, share the show with a friend. You got friends out there that like talking about this stuff, and everybody can stay up to date, and you guys can just chill and talk about superhero stuff because you're all informed.
Yeah, and you get it from us because we're informed or something. Are we informed?
We're credible, man. We're credible sources.
Yes, we are. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. So, that's it for the show. We will see you guys next week with 2 episodes. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, adios.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.